Hey everyone, welcome to the One Stop Wrestling YouTube channel once again. And this time we have got part two of our exclusive interview with Hold My Beer Hanson. Hi sir, how are you doing again?
Oh, doing good, doing good. Uh, I I love how we ended the first time, so I'm hoping that we could get a good point across on this one too.
Oh, absolutely. Now, something like I want to talk about, which, depending on how you look at it, could be an absolute blessing or it could be one of the most toxic things in the world of professional wrestling, and that's the world of wrestling on social media, which is very important for young guys like yourself coming through the business to help grow your brand. Uh, so it can be very, very positive, but as I say, it's also very, very negative. How have you found it?
Well, the best thing to do is don't talk about politics, don't talk about social issues unless it's the popular thing, but also just promote your stuff if you want, like the short summarized version. Uh, because nobody really cares about who you are; they just want to see more of your content. But be as it may, that's how it is with a lot of things. You have to, if you are a podcast that say has very um, say libertarian or Republican views, I mean you have to cater to that audience. So if you're going to be in that niche, know your niche. But if not, if you want a wide range, shut up and just promote your stuff. I mean, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of dudes out here that just be saying some toxic stuff and just trying to share these like weird opinions that like only they care about. Like, listen, I don't care that you hate a 5% of the world because they don't like pineapple on pizza. Who cares? Honestly, like, dude, really, I have bills to pay every day. Give me something useful, like watch, like entertain me. Um, I don't know. That's just my little mean thing to say. But in terms of social media, it's very powerful. Twitter is the thing right now,
Yep,
and I'll say that Twitter is also very toxic. So you have to navigate your streams very closely. Um, so understand who your audience is, grow your audience, but also like just make sure that you're taking care of what like promote more of the business aspect of you. Yes, we all have a personal life, but also I kind of like to keep my personal life away from my wrestling pages. But
absolutely.
also, Hold My Beer Hanson is that average dude. So every once in a while, I will post something from my normal page, and I'll say, you know what, I am on vacation, with my family. But the other case is, I really don't care what other people think about my family, so it's not going to be on my page. Instead, hey, here's a new T-shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees. Go buy it. You know, different. It's that. But in terms of marketing versus developing, which is the thing I want to talk about here, marketing is so important because no matter what carried me through the pandemic is making sure that I was seen on the internet and making sure that people saw my stuff week in, week out. Make sure who you know are influencers, who you know are important, um, important people in the wrestling community. If I was to say anything for workers, know who your audience is. And I'm not saying you're 5,000 people that like your page or that like your tweets. I'm talking about the dudes that make things happen because know what they're looking at, know what they're looking for, and are you doing these things? Are you standing out from the crowd? Because if not, you're probably going to sit there and wonder, why is this not happening to me? If everybody is posting gifs and little snippets of moves they do, cool. But if that's all that you see on your feed, what's making you stand out from those guys?
Yep.
What's making you stand out as a brand? Why why am I going to care about a wrestler over here if all I see is, oh man, cool, I got a match this weekend. Come look at this flyer. That's it. Done. No, he doesn't bring me any value to watch this show. Instead, I do see on the show where one dude is dancing on a unicycle with like flaming bowling pins, and he's like working his ass off just to make people pay attention to it. Yeah, it's working hard before the match, but the more you have to work hard before the match, you don't have to do anything. You save it. You don't have to break your body down. You don't have to beat yourself up and break your neck just for people to see you do a 450 or just because you want to do a shooting star press. I get it. Cool. You can do that. That's great. But you're the first match on the card. You're getting paid the same amount. But also, what happened? You're injured. The match is still going to go on without you. Everybody's going to not care the next time that it shows up. Make them care. Make me care. Make me watch. Because it's the people that talk. What was it? Mayweather. Let's talk about Mayweather versus who's the dude that talks a lot of trash? I forget his name. The MMA fighter. Come on, McGregor.
Oh,
McGregor.
fuck. Yes.
Why did I forget McGregor? Oh my God. So McGregor stands by the old homage of make me pay to see somebody fuck you up. Like if I look at Muhammad Ali back in the day, or we look at like everybody loves Muhammad Ali. They say he's the greatest of all time. But back in the day, people paid money to see him get shut up.
Yeah. I know. I can agree more with you.
Like you want people to pay money to see you get put in the dirt. That way, you don't have to do as much. You don't have to do anything. You already got paid for nothing on your body. All you did was this. And I mean, not a lot of people are great at it, but also we live in a world where a supercomputer is in our pocket. So there's no excuse on why you can't practice, send it to your buddies and say, hey, what do I need to work on? What do I need to work on in terms of my speech? What can I do to make this better? Like you have so many friends in this world, right? And you have a camera in your pocket. You have all the tools in the world to get this stuff done. And to say, oh, I can't edit videos. I can't, put this and this and this together. You know what else there is? There's also the internet teaching you how to do these things for free. For free.
You absolutely nailed it.
So you can go to wrestling training. Oh, that's cool. Great. So what happens on the other bit of that? You're just on Twitter, just scrolling up, watching people, liking some stuff. Okay, that's cool. But are you getting anything out of it? You could be doing on say the days you're just sitting there, just playing video games. I enjoy 2K right now. I'm enjoying a lot of the games I got. But you know what else I like to do? I like to learn a lot of cool new things. So I'll go to YouTube and I'll go to Google and I'll type in, hey, how do I do this? How can I actually help people get more jobs? How can I, as an employment specialist, that's my real job, by the way. How can I help people that have disabilities get jobs with companies that are heavily corporate? That's just things I look up because I want to do better and I want to get paid at these things. Yep. And at the end of the day, I have bills to pay. And if I can't learn new things to make sure my money's coming in, then what am I doing? Just going out there and playing gymnastics. So let's streamline it here. Market yourself. And it's a broad term, but understand, one, who your market is. Who do you like? Do you like pro athletes? Do you like rock stars? Do you like theater, for example? I like music, right? So I'm going to probably cater myself to more of the rock star and influencer aspect. I don't know how to do the social media influencer thing, but I know that whenever I watch Kill Switch Engage or, a new band pop up, right? They have a teaser. They have something pop up. It's all exciting, all these things going on. And I want to follow that formula. I want people to be excited for what I'm about to do. So a lot of my things are, I like to cater to what Rob Zombie says. Rob Zombie said, yeah, the guy out there can go out there and play great guitar. but he's staring at his shoes the whole show. So we got these guys up here. They can't play that great, but he's playing the music right. And also we got fireballs and strippers and monsters on the stage.
Yep.
I mean, loud cars, Americana, I mean, naked women. I mean, you can't beat it. And so it's just know your audience, know what you're catering to. Yes, there are a lot of great things that can be done, but also say you can be a great baker. You can be a guy that knows how to do this, right? Cool. That's going to cater to 5 guys. If I did this technique, right? You know what the guy in the back and that just showed up just said? That's a cool looking cake. I don't know anything about it. Nothing. Instead, how about the guys that go, you know, I want all these people saying, hey, hold my beer, Hanson. You see what he been doing? You see that stupid video he put out? Yeah. This dude fell out of a truck. And there's beer cans everywhere. Or, I helped the video with Prop the Croc, right? He came out of the swamp and I was sitting there recording the whole thing.
Fucking video that was.
Yeah. So whenever he came out of the water, I just said, hey, can you get in the water a little bit? And I don't think anything's in there. I just need you to get under for a second and then we'll do a thing. I just count. I say, go, you drop down and you come up, boom, there's the shot, right? You want these crazy little things that stand out. Who are you? What makes you so good? What makes me want to go buy a ticket? Because if I can't name those things, I can't even justify it. I honestly can say the reason you go to see Hold My Beer, Hanson is because you see a guy just like you in the ring, busting his ass, and it's just like Rocky. He's putting his hands out. He's still fighting.
Absolutely.
Just so you can reach that energy, and that's you in the ring. Because that is what we live for. We're living for moments here. We're living for energy. We're living for magic. Know what your audience is. Know what you're marketing to. So, if you are superstar Blake Jackson, I don't know if that's a real name or something like that. What makes you superstar? What makes me want to go see a superstar Blake Jackson match? Why am I coming to see you? And if you can't answer it, then I'm not being harsh here, but I'm saying there is your assignment for yourself. I know that I cannot do the social media and the talking to promoters or bookers well, right? So on my list of goals I have here, I have to get this, and this done. Understand what your goals you're trying to get are.
And this is a fantastic lesson for any of our independent wrestlers watching the show.
Or anybody that just wants to make sales, anybody that's trying to sell themselves to get something more. Like if we were just to say somebody that has a Patreon page, right? Or say you, for example, what is going to make me watch your show? What are the key defining factors that are going to make me come see you? Am I going to get a great conversation? Am I going to see these rapid fire things? Am I going to see this guy out here that says, hey, he has a unique way of doing this? Pop, pop, pop. That's why I come to see this show. These are the things that you must ask yourself as a human to go forward.
I could not agree more with you. And this has all been absolutely fantastic. But now I'm going to allow people who have watched the 2 shows to get to know you a little bit better and how you actually became a fan of the wrestling business. This is one of my favorite aspects. And kind of lets us take a little peek under the curtain a little bit. So I've got some cool questions about you and your wrestling past, just to put you on the spot. So,
okay,
your first ever wrestling match you watched on television, do you remember it?
I couldn't tell you the match, but I could tell you, if I'm going to say a match I remember, I'm probably going to say it will be Stone Cold versus Triple H, and it was a random Raw. And it was during the time where they were feuding heavy. It was on SmackDown, I believe. And things are just going wild at that time. I think it was right after he came back from the neck injury, because that's the first match I remember. But I remember a whole lot of moments.
So you kind of got into it during the Attitude Era, which was a fantastic era to get involved in watching wrestling.
I think I started like remembering things when it was like 97, 98, 99 era. Because like my first memory of wrestling, I remember The Rock throwing Stone Cold off a bridge, and I ran to my mom and started crying, right? And then I remember the next week, like they had a eulogy for Stone Cold, and he came back, and everything was fixed then. But I was also during a time when I was watching Nitro, so like I do remember Goldberg and DDP, but I don't remember anything that was going on. So that's just how my brain was wired back then, because I'm just a little kid. I was born in '95, so I was like 4. So maybe the memory retention ain't there. But if I was like, I remember heavy in the 2000s, like anything from 2000 to 2003. I remember watching heavy during that time, and that stuff, like that was wild.
Oh, absolutely.
That was like heavily Limp Bizkit and like everybody being douchebags type thing. That was a time.
Now, I'll give you a quick funny story about like my first memory involved in almost like a whole family argument. I'm a little bit older, so my first memory was I was a huge Ultimate Warrior fan, and one of my first memories was the Undertaker putting the Ultimate Warrior in the casket thanks to the help of Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
Now, 5-6-year-old Craig thought that his hero was dead. I watched this on a Sunday morning, and I'm not ashamed of it. I ran out of that house in tears to my grandmother, who lived a street over, banging on the front door. The Ultimate Warrior's dead. The Ultimate Warrior's dead for Grand. She had no idea what was going on. She was not into wrestling whatsoever. She had no idea what was going on. So she had to come over and demand to know what my parents had been allowing me to watch.
Yeah.
So that's legitimately my first memory.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like, you never really think about it today as an adult. You're like, but didn't that stick with you?
It's still, yeah, absolutely, all the way through my life.
Like, so I'm guaranteeing you had a fear of the dark, and I guarantee, like, as a kid, right, I was always afraid of the dark, but I was more afraid of what was in the bathroom at night than anything, right? Because if I turn on that light, next thing you know, that shower curtain's closed.
Yep.
I don't even know what I'm doing, man. I'm scared. I'm walking in there. Could be something in there,
Yeah, no, I never understood why my dad done this, because just after that he got me. Do you remember the old school WWF posters? And they were pretty much life size.
Yes.
He got like an Undertaker one who was standing in a coffin, and now obviously I'm very young and don't really understand the concept of death yet or anything.
Yeah.
And he put this giant life-size poster of the Undertaker at the bottom of my bed for me to look at every night. And yeah, I was already petrified of that man after he tried to kill Ultimate Warrior.
You were just traumatized by that whole situation.
Yeah, and it just kept going and going and going.
But that's just like the magic we were talking about earlier. If you watch that little kid in the front row, you understand why they're excited, why they're scared, why they're happy. That
absolutely.
is the magic right there. And we as adults now, right? I think we have a very negative connotation on what concept on what WWE is. But also, I got to give them props because they are running a kids show for what, 40 years, something now.
Yep.
And I can't say I hate that. No, because if I get my kids watching WWE right now, I know they're going to be safe watching it. I know they're not going to be like traumatized, anything crazy, like, some death matches or anything like that.
Yep.
I'll say that's the difference between AEW and WWE right now. AEW does cater to the adults or the, 18 to 40, but also the kids are the future. So if they see the Bianca Belair or they see a Drew McIntyre, they see these people on WWE, I know that they have superheroes to look up to.
Yeah, it's a larger than life star that Vince McMahon has
Yes.
always tried to create. I don't
I
necessarily
can
personally
honestly say any WWE character could be viewed as a superhero right now.
it's a very positive way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So my next question for you: what was the first wrestling show you actually attended in person?
In person, I went to there was a wrestling show going on at a music park, and it was like Wrestling with the Stars, or like, Superstars of Wrestling type thing. The generic thing.
Yeah.
And there was like Billy Gunn on there, Adam Rose after he got released, and a bunch of other like wrestlers. And it was fun. Me and my boys, we went out there, we started just talking trash, and we're like 20 in our 20s. So we're doing the guy things. It's like break his arm, and start cheering the bad guys, booing the good guys. And now that I look at those guys, I'm like, y'all are idiots. But that was honestly it was a lot of fun that led to me going to more shows and me realizing that oh wait, that was actually my later career. I went to a wrestling show where Tommy Wildfire Rich was here wrestling in Georgia, and I watched the show. I was a kid, and there was somebody was a Mick Foley impersonator. I don't know what is like, he was Mick Foley at the time, right? He came out, he did the thing, he did the Cactus Jack and the Mankind, and it was here in town, and I watched it, and it's 4th of July, and they're setting up for the next day, which is the big show, right? And I go to hang out, and we're all in the pavilion drink, and like I'm drinking me a juice box, and Mick Foley comes up to me. Mick Foley, right?
Mick.
He walks up to me, and I say, "Can I get a photo?" And then we take a photo, and then I see it. This man has both of his ears and all his teeth, and he's talking like a normal dude. And I look back at that photo, and I'm like, you know what? What a great time. And as a kid, I believed it. You got me on that one. But yeah, that was the first one as a kid. But as an adult, I went to that later show. That show was honestly a lot of fun, just because it was the experience of understanding how indie wrestling works now.
Yeah.
It was just a blast. And it was the launching point for me actually going into wrestling.
That's really, really cool. Now, this next question, I think, is a 90% answer of like one strict correct answer. So I'm going to ask you anyway. All-time favorite wrestling video game? It tends to lean one way.
Honestly, I played No Mercy and it was trash. I'm gonna just say everybody that played it, I don't get it. I don't play the arcade games. I don't like that style.
This right here.
You heard it first. SmackDown versus Raw 2007, absolute best game ever of all time.
It had everything. It was the first year that you could not body slam Big Show with Rey Mysterio because it had the weight distribution system in it. It had the best.
I mean, I was just more focused because like the story mode was so good. Like I made Luigi, I was playing as one of the Mario brothers. And I was going through and I beat Triple H for the world title. I mean, it was the stupidest thing ever. I mean, but honestly, it was great. I loved it. DX was in there. We had all these people. Like, for some reason, I never unlocked Stone Cold. I still have my save file. I never unlocked Stone Cold or any of the legends because I wasn't doing all the special stuff. As a kid, I never played games on hard mode because I like winning too much. So if we're going to have to play on hard mode and I'm going to have to lose, I ain't playing the game. That was the awful toxic trait I had as a kid. But honestly, Raw vs. SmackDown 2007, the soundtrack was good. The creation suite, everything on the game. GM mode was cool. I didn't play it that much as a kid, but as an adult, it's great now. Everything about the game, it stands up, and I'm fine with it.
I think for me, like personally, like my two favorite games was SmackDown 2 on the PS1. I have such fond memories of it. My parents don't because me and my friends from school had obsessions to the point where we would have like our own monthly pay-per-views, and we would take it too far and start attacking each other in school and have these crazy storylines play out, because, you know, that's what you do when you're 16, 17 years old. Well, you drink beer.
Yeah, I grew up poor, so like we didn't really get that many video games. So I kind of like stuck with whatever they gave me for Christmas throughout years. So when I finally got a PS2 and my parents gave me it was a triple box set for that game.
Yep.
I played the hell out of it. But the first game I had a PS1, right? And let me ask you, what is your worst wrestling video game that you couldn't stop playing?
WCW Backstage Assault.
I was a WCW Mayhem guy. I had WCW Mayhem. I never knew why Goldberg threw roundhouse kicks, but it was cool. But I'll say this: it may have been a trash game, but WCW Mayhem had the best opening cutscene, like where they're building Goldberg with the machines and stuff.
See, I'm going to disagree with you, because for me personally, WCW Mayhem is probably on my top 10 favorite games. Not the worst game I can stop playing. I love WCW Mayhem. I love the fact that you could have a 30-minute timed match, but you could go out into the parking lot and it would stop the clock, and you could get a taser and you could just taser the hell out of people.
Yeah, that was wild, right? You know, just next thing you know, you're shocking Goldberg or Stevie Ray. I don't know why I chose Stevie Ray so much. I have so much respect for him now as a wrestler. I used to always choose him as like my jobber, you know, because he was part of NWO and I didn't like the NWO. So like everybody on NWO had a hit list out. And Stevie Ray, like whenever I choose like one of like the lower characters, I always face Stevie Ray. And I feel bad for that now. Like, because Booker T always beats Stevie Ray in my mind.
Yes. Honestly, sir, this has been so much fun. I can't wait to see where your career goes from here. Now, before we go and before we finish up, everybody who's watched, tell them how they can follow you on all your social medias and find you and get your merch.
Okay, so to start off, let's go with Facebook. You can find me at Hold My Beer Hanson, Hanson. On Twitter, you can find me at Hanson Beerman. Instagram, I just started up again. Hold My Beer Hanson, all one word. On my pro wrestling tees, you can find me at ProWrestlingTees/Hold My Beer Hanson. On Store Frontier for the All-Star Special merch, find me at storefrontier.com/all-star. What's the little line hyphen? Was that minus the dash, little minus sign, special, star special, you know, that's how that goes. Just go check us out there, buy the t-shirts. I make a lot of designs. I make them all myself. So if you can go ahead and help a brother out, go ahead and check it out. Thank you for the interview. I really had a great time, and I appreciate you giving me the platform to share with the world.
No problem. So stay safe. Look after yourself. I can't wait to see where you go from next. For everybody who's watched, thank you for tuning in. Remember, make sure you like, you comment, and you subscribe to us on all our.
And don't forget, you can hold my beer.
For sure. Take it easy, sir.